A confession. Marion and I are here actually because of Mimi, and I have never heard of you. I have known quite a lot of you because of your foundation, because of your work. I didn't know that you had an organization bringing you all together. And here I am for the first time, and I admire it. I cannot tell you enough, really, how I admire the way Mark says shh. And it works. When God gave the law, there were kolot ubrakim, there was thunder, lightning. Why didn't he say shh? As for Mimi, you are so exceptional, Mimi. You come somewhere as a guest, and you end up as a host. Furthermore, really, you know, Marion and I are so close to you because we all have a kind of extraordinary perception of friendship. I believe in friendship more than in many, many other ideas or ideals. If I love Hasidism, and I am a Hasid, it's because the Hasidic tradition speaks of God not only as our judge, our king, but also as our friend. In the Bible, the only time we speak about the friend of God, Yedidat Hashem, is Binyamin. But it also means the other way around, that God is our friend. In this room, God is our friend. I was actually told by David, in the name of probably of Mark and all of you, that you love questions. So do I. I don't like answers. And since I accepted to answer your questions, you'll understand why I don't like them. Questions unite people. Answers often divide them. And I like to use only words that bring people together. Now, the topic that I gave was on moral issues. That already is a moral principle, to bring people together. 3 speakers before me have used the word chazak, chazak. Do you know why we say that? Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Each time we finish one of the 5 books, the Pentateuch, we say chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Why? Be strong. What's the connection? And the reason, the real answer is, our Talmudic sages tell us that the Torah machlisha, study, believe it or not, weakens a person. Because we are so involved in study that we forget to eat. We forget to enjoy the practical aspects of life because we are involved in study. It's true. And that I'm involved, I study Talmud every day. It's great. I always loved it from my childhood on. I plunged in study. And therefore we say, since the Torah machlisha, chazak, chazak, at the end you must be strong, since now you have become weaker. But where do we draw our strength from? From each other. When you study Jewish moral philosophy, and I believe philosophy must be moral, you realize that morality means my relationship to you, to the other. My humanity is determined by yours. Furthermore, by my attitude towards your humanity. If I am not here to appeal to humanity, what are we doing here? Strange, Jewish history has such imagination. No novelist can do justice to it. Here we come because Mimi wanted us to come, Marion and myself. And whom have I met? I already met one young lady who came up that her grandfather comes from Sziget, my town. Marion says she never thought that Sziget was so huge. She comes from Vienna. Compared to Sziget, what is Vienna, really? A small village. Wherever we go, somebody says Sziget. If that is not enough, Karl came up and said, you know, I was in Buchenwald with you, liberated the same day, April 11. If that is not enough, I love my students. I've been a teacher almost for 40 years, and I really have an affection for them that they know. Whom do I meet here? A very beautiful student of mine who works naturally for a foundation, Talia. When students ask me, what would you like us to take away from our class? Knowledge, naturally. Not enough. Sensitivity. When we study ancient texts, Jewish or not, when we studied drama in the Middle Ages, when we study history or poetry, if I am not sensitized by what is happening to Romeo and Juliet, which is not a tale of love, as popularly we believe, it's not true. Romeo and Juliet is a tale of hatred. Two families hate one another, and young people die. But if I am not sensitive, therefore, to what is happening in the soul of the student, or the teacher, or the parent, I betray my calling. But that, I hope, is true as a writer. I want a person who reads my books, and so little of it is about tragedy. I like to celebrate our ancient wisdom, our ancient charm, our ancient humor, and our ancient hope. The Bible, the Talmud, I've written about so much about them, biblical portraits, Hasidic legends, and translated, by the way, by Marion. She's the one who, some of your books that you read in English, you hear her, not only me. But I love that, because I believe anyone who reads about Abraham and Isaac, about the binding of Isaac, my God, the father and son, must be sensitive to father and son relations, or father and daughter, or mother and daughter, meaning to what is happening between one generation and the other. Morality, I believe, has been at the core of Jewish history. And although we have not invented historians, the first historians were not Jewish. They were Greeks. But we had only one. And we didn't like him. For many, many centuries, we didn't study him, because we believe in morality. But whatever we know of our history, of our tale, from the Bible on, is moral. It is always one verse about a king, Vayas Hatov B'nei Hashem, or Vayas Hara B'nei Hashem. And the king did good things or bad things. And that is the whole biography of the king. I can tell you that these days, we must answer certain questions that have been asked of us for generations and generations. What are you doing here in this world? We are the only people of antiquity to have survived antiquity. Why? Of course, if you believe in Hashem, let him answer, okay. But if you need more